me.
Okay. Hey everyone, welcome to the Lit Leaders Intensive. We are here today with Jennifer McCormack, kinesiologist, and we're here to talk about the link between the Lit Leaders Intensive as a leadership development program and kinesiology, and what it is and why I've included it on the program. So welcome, Jennifer.
Thanks, Angela. Thanks for having me.
So let's just get straight into it, Jen. What is kinesiology and how does it work?
So kinesiology on the basis is really muscle testing. So we know that we have strong muscles and we also have some weak muscles. We have both involuntary muscles, which is like our heart and our lungs that we don't need to switch on and off to function. And then we have our voluntary muscles, which we do. It's our bicep that we move, it's our legs that we move. And so it's all those muscles that we actually activate ourselves. So what kinesiology is using our muscles to connect in with our energetic body. And we know when there is a dysfunction or a disconnection in our body, our muscles weaken. So say, for example, the classic test is if you close your eyes and you pick up a glass of Coke and then you pick up a glass of water, in noticing which one feels heavier.
Mm-hmm.
So the one that feels heavier is the one that disconnects with your body. So you'll notice, and sometimes people, it's just a slight variance in the weight, but you'll notice the glass of Coke feels heavier because your body doesn't resonate with it, it doesn't want it. So through this way, we can actually connect into the subconscious mind. And that's where, as we know, all our beliefs are, all our values, where we store all our trauma, all the reasons why we haven't been able to achieve what we want to achieve. So that's the basis of it.
It really sounds like we're tuning into the wisdom of our body, really. It's a way of accessing it. That's what I'm hearing in your story there. Okay, so I really want to discuss the link between leadership development and the Lit Leaders Intensive and kinesiology. And perhaps, I can start by describing my journey of, personal and leadership development and how it's helped me. I would say that as I undertake learning and development, which requires me to become uncomfortable, which requires me to expand, to challenge my beliefs, my patterns, my values, and to actually apply different patterns of thinking and behavior. What I would say is it's not always just the knowledge that we need. It's not only the content that we need, but sometimes I've found personally that we need to get out of our own way in applying that knowledge. And we may want to, we may intend to, we may have the will and the willingness to apply this new way of being, but energetically somehow we're getting in our own way and we're feeling a little bit blocked. And kinesiology has helped me move through some of those blocks in personal and leadership development. I'm just wondering what your comments would be about that, Jen.
Well, it's interesting because I work with a lot of leaders and business entrepreneurs. And what we find is business, as you probably understand, is the most gruesome personal development tool I think there is on the planet. And it really forces us to step outside our comfort zone. And it's like, no matter how much the most perfect strategy you have, unless you believe in yourself, unless you believe it'll work, the mindset behind the execution of that strategy is everything towards success. So when we look at implementing the strategy, I know there's so many strategies that I've been given and I've gone, oh, I can't do that, or that feels so uncomfortable. And even the other day I was watching a webinar and I was noticing his strategy in there and I'm like, oh, that really doesn't resonate with me. So when it doesn't resonate, it's like, why doesn't it resonate?
Yes.
And where kinesiology can help close that dissonance between where you are and where you want to go. Because sometimes we don't know why we feel uncomfortable, but we know what we need to do. So that's when kinesiology, through the muscle testing, we can go, you know what, it's an emotional thing. The emotional thing is around self-worth, or it's around anxiety, or it's around childhood trauma that we don't realize is getting in our way of the next step.
Yes, perfect. Perfect. And for so many leaders who'll be joining our program, this may be the first time that they're thinking about leadership and personal development that includes these terms. And I wonder if you could tell us what to expect in a kinesiology session with you, because as part of the Leaders Intensive, I'm including 3 sessions with you. So what should our leaders expect as they join you for their first kinesiology sessions?
It's quite interesting because kinesiology is such a really gentle modality. And the reason it's so gentle is because our subconscious is actually a very light vibration. When we talk about energy, we talk about healing, I look at 3 different levels. There is the level which is, you know, our intuitive energy, and that's really light. And we tap into that when, you know, we cut out the external noise. And then it goes a little bit heavier when we start to feel it emotionally. And then it increases in density when we feel it physically. So when we work with kinesiology and we start working on that energetic body, it's very gentle. Some people start to feel it in their body through tingling sensations. Some people don't feel it at all. And neither is wrong nor right. It's just such a personal journey. But there'll be a lot of visualization techniques that we use. There might be some acupressure points that I'll get you to hold. There might be some, there's a lot of different visualizations that we do. And so a lot of it is very gentle, subconscious work.
Yeah.
Most of it here is we work on 2 levels. One's the energetic level and one's the neuro level. So we're really looking to connect those neural pathways that have been disconnected for so long. That is basically going to help you close the gap from where you are to where you want to be.
Yes. And until I think you really truly experience kinesiology, it's hard to describe, or it's hard to connect with what that might feel like. But for me, in my experience, I don't recall feeling anything particular in terms of bodily sensations, but what I did notice is that I started to take action. I started to think more clearly, differently, like new thinking became available to me. And even, you know, some of the blocks that I overcame while putting together this Leaders Intensive have been assisted through kinesiology. So I think that's important to know.
Yeah.
And how do we get, excuse me, go ahead.
On that as well, what we find with our results, when we look at the results, some people take action straight away and they get this real drive and momentum, like almost instantly. With some people, it's more of a slower, gentler progression. So you might say in a week later, go, oh, I feel like I can feel that momentum coming now. Where some people, it's just like when they get off, you know, off the call or off the table, it's like, I'm so in the zone now.
I think for me, it was the delayed reaction, but I guess it was just processing through. And yeah, it's really difficult to explain the experience of now being able to move forward. And I knew I knew it was coming from the kinesiology, but it was very difficult for me as a non-expert to explain. So I'm glad you've provided those insights.
Well, what happens is, even so we work together within that hour session, the energy doesn't stop moving and recalibrating just in the time we're together. So it continues to do that, because when we start to change things on an energetic level, it then goes into the neurological level and also the chemistry of our body as well. So that's not an instantaneous reaction most of the time. Most of the time it's a gentle progression. So I would say normally for the average person, it takes 3 to 4 days for that progression to sometimes even start to seeing and to really settle into the physical body.
Makes sense. Thank you for clarifying that. And for our leaders that are working with you for the first time, how should they get the best out of their sessions with you? Like I say, we have 3 sessions included in this program.
The most important thing is to find your own space and time to do it. There's so many clients that I have that are parents, or they don't have a dedicated space to do it. And I'll say, find your own personal space where you can be alone for that hour. And come with some goals. What do you want to achieve? So the the people that I find that get the most out of their sessions have really clear goals on what they want. Because when we really understand where we are and where we want to be, it's so much easier then to go, okay, these are the reasons that you're blocking yourself. So let's just rebalance that to clean it up.
Fantastic.
That's the best thing. And then it's also the little things that go outside. So, you know, the no alcohol for the rest of the day, you know, try and clean eating, giving us that self-care that we should normally take within our lives. It really helps the kinesiology sessions implement into our body a lot easier.
Fantastic. Thank you for that orientation to those sessions and how to get the best out of them. Is there anything you'd like to add for the Leaders Intensive clients coming to you for the first time, Jan?
The only other thing I can think of here, and which is really important, is you don't need to know. If you don't know your goals, if you don't know where you want to be, that's totally okay. And there is ways that we can work around that. It's okay if you don't know why you're getting in your way, because that's what kinesiology is all about, is connecting into your subconscious to figure it out. So, and that is a lot of our barriers, is we think we need to know everything in our conscious. Our subconscious has all the information we need to move forward from exactly where we are. So just surrender to the process and know that, you know, your answers are inside of you, and I'm here to help you bring them to the surface.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much for that description and for talking to us today. I hope the leaders coming through on the Leaders Intensive, you know, benefit from this introduction to you, and I know that they are going to love their sessions with you. So thank you so much for your time.
Beautiful. Thanks, Angela.